Welcome, pool family, friends, and fans. I'm Brian Hoover. I'll be joined today with Gene Chung, my co-host, and this is an episode of Str8 Shooters, a billiards podcast. Since this is our first episode, let me give you an outline of what you should expect. Each episode, we are going to highlight a different local pool player, and we'll get a chance to learn how they came to love pool, hear a bit about their journey so far, and maybe hear what goals they have for the future. We'll close out every episode with a challenge shot, giving them a chance to show off some of their skills. So let's introduce this week's guest. His name is Jesse McNew. His current Fargo rating is a 532, and his local home pool hall is the White Horse Bar Saloon.
Might have been a week ago or 15 years ago.
First pool memory. First pool memory was at my uncle's house in his basement. And I thought I was really good at pool. My uncle invited me over to shoot pool. And he absolutely tore my mouth out. He showed zero mercy. And then continued to make fun of me for months. And it determined me. Yes.
How old were you when that happened?
I just moved to Ohio, so I was probably 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we moved up here when I was just turning 12 from Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida, where I was born and raised.
So when did you start playing then?
I started playing when I was about 11.
Really?
Yep. Moved into his house, first time ever shooting pool in my life, and I was down in his basement just hitting balls, and he came home from work and humbled me. And then I decided that I was like, I'm not going to let my uncle beat me ever again. And he continued to beat me until I was about 16. And then I started beating him. Sweet revenge. Sweet, sweet revenge.
So when did you end up in Ohio?
In 2001. Yep. We moved up here the summer of 2001.
After you moved up here for work or something?
No, we always lived around my dad's side of the family, which was in Florida. And after my grandpa passed away, we ended up moving up to Ohio, which was my mom's side of the family. So my mom's dad was getting older, and she wanted to live near him towards the end of his years. And it was just my grandma on my dad's side of the family, so they decided to move to Ohio with us. So that was when I was about 11 years old.
Were you playing steady then since then? Or?
So I quit playing from 16 to about 24 or 25. And then I played for about, once I was old enough to drink at the bars.
There you go.
Yeah. Then I started playing with a bunch of friends at the bars. And then I never had my own pool cue at this point in time. But I was going to these Friday night tournaments, and I was winning them all the time with like a bar stick off the wall. And I didn't want a pool cue because I was like, I'm showing up with a bar stick. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like, I'm letting them pick my stick off the wall, and I'm smoking these guys that got these nice cases, and started winning a lot of pool games, a lot of tournaments.
What was your first cue? Do you remember?
What's that?
What was your first cue?
My first cue was, let's see, I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember my first cue.
Like how old you were, what you got it for, like Christmas present, birthday present.
So my uncle was a diehard Ohio State fan. I don't think there was a name brand on this cue, but it was like an Ohio State pool stick.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it just had a regular maple shaft, and it was probably just some house cue from Walmart. I have no clue. I have no clue, but I thought that cue was the coolest thing ever. And he had one of his friends do some work to it before I knew anything about cues, and I shot with that thing for about 3 or 4 years. And every time I'd miss a shot, I'd put it back in the case and grab one off the wall. I thought it was superstitious. I thought it was the cue.
we know all about that.
Yeah, we know about the bad beats.
Actually, one of my favorite pool memories of all times was when we stayed at a hotel out of town for a softball tournament. And I specifically searched for a hotel that had a pool table. And it was like an extra 20-minute drive from the whole entire team where they were staying. But it was because Jace was with me, and he had just got his first cue. And he's only played like maybe a handful of times at this point in time, but he was just hungry to play. He's like, I don't care about a swimming pool, Dad. Let's find a hotel with a pool table. I'm like, let's do it. And that night, we were about 2 racks in. Jace legitimately ran 7 balls on the table and got completely out on me. I broke. I made a stripe. I played a safe shot showing no mercy.
Right. Can't go easy on
No
me.
mercy. He called a kick shot to start it off. After he made the kick shot that he called, I started recording at that point. And I have it on video of him running 7 balls, getting completely out on me. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite pool memories, like, ever. Yeah, like, just watching, and he was only like 7 years, he just turned 7 at the time. Ooh.
That's pretty sporty.
I almost hit it.
Here, come sit next to me and we'll eyeball Gene over here and see how he's going to get out. Or not.
Or not.
Might be, huh?
Or not.
So how was it for you, like, changing from being a player, and you still are, like, still play a ton of pool, to having a son and teaching him a little bit of the sport? Like, how was that dynamic?
It actually, it helped me with like my self-frustration big time, because the first couple times I was playing pool, I would see him miss a shot and he'd be like, oh man, like, and I'd be like, hey, it's not that serious. But at the same time, like, I had to think like, oh man, he's like doing what I used to do, like, all the time. So I think like whenever Jace is around, I try not to get as frustrated, because I don't want him to pick up that bad trait of, you know, everybody misses a shot, but we all beat ourselves up more than anybody else. You know, whenever we do miss that one easiest shot in the world. So, yeah, so now I'm trying to, I might be able to get out here. So now I'm really trying to, and I was just telling Chris this the other day, like, I think that's one of my biggest things is getting so frustrated with myself after I miss this exact shot on Saturday night at Bank Shots. If I make this exact shot right here, we're in the hot seat. And this is this is so crazy, that this shot is available right now to me. This is like redemption right now. I literally missed this shot. I'm not missing this shot. I missed it. That's so funny. But ironically, that was the exact same shot that I missed on Saturday night at Bank Shots, and we took 3rd place instead of being in the hot seat.
That's still a good accomplishment, but I know we always remember the ones that we should have had,
Yeah.
not the ones that we did get.
All right.
So do you have any guys that you have any like pool buddies you grew up with go play pool? Like, I know when I was growing up, I had my buddy Arden, he and I would, you know,
Yeah.
go around town playing and stuff.
I think I shoot the most pool with Chris Bradley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm on a team with him, and then we shoot the same league on Monday nights. I'm on his team on Wednesday nights. And then every Friday night, he calls me or I call him to see where he's going. We shoot a lot of pool out of the White Horse in Grove City. We do a lot of those
really?
tournaments in Grove City.
Yeah, I've been out there. That's a nice little spot.
Yeah, they run a really good tournament. They usually have 25 or 30 shooters
Really?
on a Friday night.
Would you say you have a home bar, a place that you?
The White Horse in
White
Grove
Horse
City.
your home bar?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. The White Horse in Grove City is definitely where we shoot the most out of. I live 5 minutes from there, and me and Jace go down there and shoot pool, 2 or 3 times a week down there. Absolutely. You might get out on me here.
So what did you start with first in pool, like organized league? Did you get into like the APA league first, or was there some other league you started with?
Yeah, I started with APA. Yep, we started with APA, and then once I got moved up to a 6 in APA, our team had to split apart. Well, when we split apart, I started doing BCA. That was after about 7 months, 6 months or so. Whenever they started me out, I think they started me out as a 4, and then after 2 sessions, I was a 7, and then went down to a 6, and then our team couldn't make rank. Even with me going down to a 6, we had 4 6s and 3 5s on our team. That was our whole team's stat. We won tri-cups, and then they bumped everybody up, and then we had to split into 2 different teams.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. See ya. Add more people. Create 2 teams. So that was.
So I gotta tell you, what was your? You've been to Canton, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was your experience going there?
So my first time going to Canton. I actually told Chris, we got together a lot. We practiced a lot the couple weeks heading into the Canton trip. And I was like, man, I want to go down here. I want to try to do the best I can. And I don't know how many games in a row that I won, but when Chris came up there early with me, he wasn't even shooting in singles. He just went there with me as moral support. He's like, he brought a whole bunch of food into our hotel room. It was the best experience ever. Like, my first time in Canton, I don't know if it was his first time in Canton, but it was my first time in Canton. And he's like, dude, you get the room. I'll bring all the food. We're going to be good for the week. And we was, man. Like, I mean, he loaded up the entire room. He brought his queso dip. Oh, yeah. Wait until you try it one day. You're going to have to ask him about it. It is spectacular.
This episode is brought to you by the Duggie Sports Bar, located at 14952 East Broad Street in Reynoldsburg. Established in 2007, the Duggie Sports Bar has been the go-to location for sports, parties, and fun in the local community. Open 7 days a week from noon to 2:30 a.m., the Duggie offers an extensive lineup of activities and entertainment that keep the energy high and the patrons coming back for more.
Yeah. So anyways, if it wasn't for Chris Bradley, then I wouldn't have done it as good as I did. Like, just having somebody there with you every step of the way, just from start to finish.
That was by far the most intimidated and excited I've ever felt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, ever. When it came to playing, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. Just walking into the main arena.
Yeah.
Just seeing all the tables, and what's even more impressive is all the people there.
Yep.
Everybody in that arena was there for one thing.
Yep.
That was mind-blowing.
That was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I think after the first couple of matches, I started to realize, like, you start looking around and you see other people playing, and they're just in their own little zone, doing their own little thing.
You're waiting for your turn.
And you're waiting for your turn to play
and you
again.
go by and see other people playing, and
Yeah.
just like you said, their own little world
Yep.
of them being at, meeting Canton and stuff, and just when I saw it, that automatic first thing popped in my head. I was like, I gotta come back.
Yes. Yeah, I ended up doing really good. I made it all the way. I think I finished in 12th place in the singles format, and to lose to get myself out of the tournament, the 8-ball is down here locked on the rail. I have a ball here. His ball's here. He plays a safe. I did a jump shot, cut the 8-ball in, made it, and the ball hits the rail, bounces off the table, and that's how I ended up losing. Chris Bradley witnessed that. Yeah, that's how I ended up losing my final match to get out. And if I win that, then I'm in. I think I was going to be either in the hot seat or one match away from the hot seat. So it would have been pretty impressive. But Yeah, my first time in Canton, I ended up placing 12th place in singles.
Good job.
After eating like 5 pounds of Chris Bradley's queso dip, which was
He was good.
it's so good.
You said something there about walking into the room, the arena down there. It's different. Like, we're used to playing in the league, and the league's had a couple of tables in the bar and whatnot. But you walk into a coliseum, into an arena, and it brings a whole new level to it. And I think a few of us have lost that awe.
Yeah.
When you first walk in.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't gone a couple times.
Absolutely. I've heard people say themselves that they don't want to bother going over there. It's crazy. It's just, there's a lot of, every tournament, no matter how big or small it is, they all have their own problems, right?
Yeah.
All of them, every single one. They get big or small, they all have problems. And I guess the expense that it takes to go out there and all of those things just don't mean nothing. But to me, dude, that's everything. That's the whole way of you playing.
Yeah.
Like, to me, at least.
You feel that pressure to perform out in front of all your peers,
Yeah.
get some of that recognition.
Yeah, exactly. In front of your peers. Like,
You
every
look
person
forward
in
to it
there
every
is
year.
all playing pool.
It's something that you mark on your calendar. Canton, Wilmington.
Yeah. When is Wilmington?
Wilmington is the week of October 10th. Yep.
When's
I'm hearing a
registration?
voice from
for
our
that?
crowd over here.
'Cause I might be missing that. Might not be able to make that.
So,
So-
like, if we look to the future, what are you looking forward to, like, in your pool career? Like, we talk about, the standard tournaments that we're doing. Is there anything else bigger maybe on the horizon for you?
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I'm trying to accomplish right now is I'm trying to get a room built behind my house, a 16 by 23 room, to put a Blue Label 9-foot Pro-Am table in. That's on the very next thing to do. So as soon as I raise enough money to build the room and get the table, that's what I'm going to be doing, and that's going to have 4 1/4 inch pockets. I'm going to hit on that thing 4 or 5 hours a day, and chase down the Derby City Classic, jump in the U.S. Open, and just see where that goes.
I love hearing it because when we talk about table choices in Central Ohio, everybody immediately goes to war boxes because that's what we have around here.
Yeah.
So your choice of the 9-foot table means that you must have something else in mind, like
Yes.
Derby City Classic. And
Yes.
Yeah.
I really feel like if I had a table at my house and I practiced as much on the 9-foot table as I do on the bar boxes now, then my game would elevate tremendously. Yeah, and I'm excited for it. And I'm excited for Jace. Jace wants it. I said, what do you want for your birthday? He said, a pool table. I was like, what do you want for Christmas? He's like, a pool table.
Two?
Yeah, he said he has $300 saved up, and he tried to hand it to me the other day. He's like, Dad, go buy us a pool table. And he has no idea how much a pool table costs, but he's just like, sell all my toys. Here's my money. Let's get a pool table. So
I was having a little conversation with him a couple of days ago when we were in the tournament here.
Yeah.
And he was telling me how he wants to buy the balls for the table, so he's invested so that he can always have a seat.
Oh, yeah, you got that access.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
We love to see the drive.
yes, he did tell me that too. After I told him how much a pool table costs, he said, well, I have enough for the balls. That's exactly what he told me. Right after you walked out, you were like, hey, tell your dad. I think that was a great idea. He did. He ended up telling me, and all the way home. And he told my wife. Yeah, and he told my wife and his sister. Yeah, his passion for the game is on fire.
Yeah, you got to feed them.
Yes.
You got to feed them.
Yes.
I think this is the point in time where we call you out. Like, we've been waiting for a minute here. You ain't shooting the ball.
Not me. This is still a shot.
I missed.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, my bad.
I'd be scared of that rack too, though.
Broke it.
No. Oh yeah.
Leave me much anyway, though.
I know. It was a little two-way action. I don't know why I do that a lot. Oh, okay.
So, in pool, I hear a lot of people talk about the association between gambling and pool, and how the two kind of correlate tightly with each other. Myself, I'm not a gambler, which is difficult to really get involved in pool at a high level. I consider myself more of a tournament player. Where on that spectrum would you call yourself? Where do you define yourself on that line?
I would say I'm probably more of a tournament player than a gambler myself. But if somebody, calls me out and we're out and about shooting and I have time to play, then I have no problem playing. Especially if I feel like it's a good it's a good matchup.
Right.
I'm not going to go and play, Feder Gorse for $1,000.
So what's the coolest pool hall you've ever been to?
Ooh, this is really cool. Actually, me and you in the trios tournament down at the league room. I really think that place was set up the best that I've ever seen a place set up.
You know the old nightclub.
Yeah, I found out about that later after the fact. But like they had lazy boys, they had couches.
Yeah, couches.
The food was spectacular.
Yep.
It's like they had a little convenience shop almost built with like, I don't know, it just felt like a good vibe. You know what I mean? Like it felt like home.
Yeah.
And it was my one and only time ever going. I want to go back.
I was really impressed with the place.
Yeah, the league room in Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Yeah. So imagine 1990, early 1990s. You walk into Hawaiian Brian's and there's 109.
Whew.
Bro, that's the exact same feel I got when I walked into camp. I mean, it's just, this is a pool hall you're walking into, and there's 109 foot. Yeah. It was crazy.
I can't imagine that. 100?
Yeah.
That's more than they had at the Derby. They had,
Sounds about right.
yeah, they had like 70 tables or something at the Derby. And that took up, yes, I did, again. We keep leaving each other nothing. We keep leaving each other nothing, but I figured I'd give you an out here. We'll see if you can capitalize. It's a open table, by the way. Neither one of us have made anything since the break, I don't think.
So there's a lot of different disciplines in pool, right? We've got. Oh, he did.
I'm solid.
Oh, you got ball in hand then, because I just shot the 6 ball.
You're an honest man. You're an honest man.
Absolutely.
All the people watching the videos in the future are going to be like, yeah,
Safety strike.
Yes. Yeah. I've lost many of tournaments where I could have taken advantage of somebody that I did not.
That's a good move, man.
Yeah.
Everybody appreciates that.
Yeah. Or you make a really good shot, but it's real close to someone's ball and you've seen it wiggle, but they're like, oh, great shot. Like some people will just fist bump them and say thanks. No, not me.
So a lot of different disciplines in pool, right? There's 3-cushion caroms, there's bank pool, 1-pocket, straight pool, 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball, whatever. On bar boxes, on the big table. What's your passion? What is it that, like, if I were to pin you down right now and only choose one, make you choose one, what is it?
Definitely a bank shot or a jump shot over caroms. I barely ever do caroms.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the format. I apologize.
Oh, no,
so,
you're
like,
fine.
If you had to choose one game to play, not
Oh.
specific type of shot.
Like 8-ball, 9-ball. What's your favorite game?
Yeah. I equally like 8-ball and 9-ball together. If I'm on a 9-foot table, I'd rather play 9-ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'd rather play 9-ball or 10-ball on a 9-foot table. On a bar box, I want to play 8-ball.
Yeah.
But as far as the actual format, I would say, 99% of my career has been on a bar box. So I'm an 8-ball player at heart, right? My whole career. But I want to play 9-ball on a 9-foot table. Like that's where I want to head. And I think that will enhance my game all the way around for all formats. And I went to the Derby City Classic and I played in the 1-pocket event. And heading into my very first match all the way to the coin flip, I've never played a game of 1-pocket in my entire life. And the guy that I lined up against right out the gate, he had a shirt with 40 patches all over it and like 35th anniversary of 1-pocket. And I told the guy, I said, I've never played 1-pocket in my life. He thought I was joking. After 5 minutes, I was like, no, I'm being dead serious. Like, how do I break? Can you tell me the rules? Like he fully, like, I didn't even look up a YouTube video about nothing. Like me and Adam Wolford went down to the Derby City Classic and signed up for all 3 events, and I'm like, I've never played before. He's like, oh, you'll figure it out. Like, that's the most experience or knowledge I found out. This guy told me how to play the game. He showed me where to break from. We actually ran a practice rack before we even got started. This guy was so nice. He's like, man, we didn't come to the Derby City Classic to wait 4 days to play and rush through our match. Let me show you how to play this game. He said, because this is my 35th year ever coming to this, to come into the Derby.
Who was the guy? Do you remember his name?
I can't remember his name. I cannot remember his name. I wish I would have got his name.
That's definitely an OG.
Yes, absolutely. So he racked it up. He showed me how to break. And then after that, he said, that's your pocket, that's my pocket, whoever makes the most balls. And then he makes a shot to where I have absolutely no shot. And I realized immediately, like, all right, this is a safety battle, right? And he beat me the first game. I ended up beating him the next 4 games. And he got really mad at me. He's like, there's no way this was your first time ever playing one pocket. I was like, well, there's safe shots, there's banks, it's strategic. He told me this is the golden rail. He said that you want to leave the ball in the center or inside their box at all costs. And I just kept doing that. And ended up getting out on this guy. And it went hill, and then I think he ended up getting me. But gave him a battle. It was a really, really cool experience. I'm going to go safe here. Yeah. Talking about one pocket, I had to play a safe shot.
So I see you sporting some Hammerhead Hustling gear. That seems like there might be a little story behind that.
Yeah, it was the first time at Wilmington. I placed 13th place, not 12th place at Canton. Okay. And then at the Wilmington tournament, same thing. Me and Chris Bradley, Roll Dog, going through it, man. Got our hotel room. He brought his queso dip. I'm determined to think that. I'm pretty sure that the queso dip's the reason why I shoot so good at Ken in Wilmington. Seriously, because I placed 13th place in singles at Wilmington as well. Hey, it's fire.
Really?
Yeah. It is absolutely fire. Sorry, Chris Bradley, you're gonna have to make some.
Yeah. So, 13th place in Wilmington. How does that relate to Hammerhead?
So, I think I was the 6th match. I was 5-0 right out the gate. My 6th match, I actually lined up against Daryl Stevens, and I've never met the guy in my life. He's like the owner of Hammerhead Hustling. I matched up against him, and he shook my hand. He said, "Good luck," and I was like, "Good luck. My name's Jesse." He said, "My name's Daryl." He's like, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "Nope, I don't know who you are." He said, "Well, good luck." Well, we ended up shooting the match. He dry broke. I ran out. I broke and ran a rack. The 3rd game, it was a huge safety battle between the 2 of us. He ended up getting out. The 4th game, I tied it back up. It was 2-2, and then I ended up getting out of the whole set after that. I can't remember how it all ended. But Daryl says, he said, I've heard really good things about you, and I've been really excited to meet you. And at this point, I still have no clue who this guy is. He said, in about 15 or 20 minutes, if you can just meet me over by that Hammerhead Hustling stand where he had everything set up. I was like, okay. So I went, got a drink of water or something, used the bathroom, met him over there in like 15 minutes, and then I met him over there. Adam Wolford was over there with him. And then Adam introduced me to him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm the owner of Hammerhead Hustling, and I'd love for you to join my team. I want to sponsor you as a shooter." Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was super cool, man. He had like 7 different hats and shirts and hoodies and just gave me all my sizes of everything. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And yeah, I really liked it. It was a great time.
Where do they operate on?
He's
Here in
yeah, he's right here in Columbus.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Daryl, man, he is an awesome guy. If you guys you've met him before. You've met him before, Daryl? Yeah, if you've never met him, he's just one of the best people you'll ever meet. Yeah, Daryl is pretty awesome. Yes, absolutely.
All right, so what kind of a cue are you shooting here with?
This is a Predator Sangley 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. They're not everywhere. You don't see them all the time. Very nice cue. I won this in a cue raffle. Me and Chris Bradley won this in a cue raffle. And after we won it, he seen my eye sparkle. He's like, I know you really want this cue. Why don't you just keep it as your personal cue? And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Yes, absolutely. And then that got us, well, this was on the road of us starting our own cue raffle page.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so me and Chris Bradley, we started our own cue raffle page. It's called C&J's Cue Giveaway, which I'll send you the info so you can share it with whoever watches this podcast with us. Yes. But we try to raffle off 3 or 4 cues a month. And me and Chris Bradley also get into a bunch of other raffles out there. And that's how we've pretty much built our entire case of cues, and everything that we're shooting with is we won pretty much everything in raffles. And just try to keep our inventory pretty stocked. We buy cues as well, buy and sell cues, but yeah, that's how I ended up getting this. We won this in a raffle. Yeah, really expensive cue for very low cost.
Well, I'll let you focus here for a second, because you got some work cut out for you. I want to see you beat Gene. You need some style.
Listen.
Felt pretty good. Oh, that was a safe. No, it wasn't. I was trying for the side. I missed. Yeah.
So whereabouts, what's your next upcoming tournament?
The next tournament is going to be Wilmington, Wilmington comes up next, right, in October? Yeah, I actually just got a message from a friend of mine, Lee Coakley. He wants to know if I want to play in a trios tournament at Parkersburg at the league room. And yeah, so I've been trying to make my way back to the league room. That was a really cool place. I'm gonna go safe here. Ooh. Rolled a little too far.
Yeah, they have a tournament every month last Saturday. They alternate between 8 and 9.
At the league room? Yeah, so this weekend, this Friday, we have Tri-Cups for APA. Our team won the division for in Double Jeopardy for 8-ball and 9-ball. So we had Tri-Cups last weekend. This weekend we have Tri-Cups for 9-ball. And then I think the weekend after that is the MVP tournament. I finished, if Chris was able to help me with the... If only if there was a Chris Bradley in the room. I think I finished first place in 9-ball in MVP. And then first place in 8-ball. Yeah, I got destroyed by a low-level person in 9-ball our very last week, but I was undefeated, 100% win rate in both, all session. But then he humbled me and beat me pretty bad, actually. But I ended up in 4th place in our division for 9-ball. But I still made MVP for both. So I'm doing the MVP in 2 weekends. Singles, safe. What's that?
So if you sing an MVP,
And that is my goal for APA. That's one of my big goals, is try to make it to Vegas in singles 8-ball, singles 9-ball.
1 ball.
Yes. 1 ball.
My first tryout too. For reasons.
Yeah. Sheesh. Yeah, I did 9-ball. So yeah, we're doing the regional. I'm going to do the MVP tournament, which will qualify me for regionals. And then if I win regionals, then I can go to Vegas. That's going to be, that'll be fun.
So, anybody that you play, any player out there, anything, you just make them here, play them in any game that you want to play. Who's your
I'd want to play Efren Reyes.
Oh, man.
That would be fantastic. Absolutely. Just to see him in action. Anytime he touches a cue, the whole crowd's like, oh my God, what's he doing? Like, because you know he's doing something. At least I left you dead straight.
Actually, this is really close to, the run-out sequence I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me your rundown of how you run these last 3 balls?
Is this way of dodging how to shoot that anymore?
Huh?
I said, is this Gene's way of dodging how
I
to
have
shoot
no
that
clue
anymore?
what you're talking about at all.
Yeah, so
That's funny.
Part of our show is that actually has a little challenge shot at the end of it, and we are coming up on time, so good transition.
Yeah.
How would you, let's say that was your starting position, and your strikes, how are you getting out? Take a second, take a lap, whatever you need to do.
For me, I'm going to take this 14 first with a little bit of top right just to hold it and come back down table. Try this 11 in the side and then sneak out here for the 8-ball in that corner.
I want to see that.
So what's the thought process behind that? Like some would play soft back, play the 11 in the corner, and the 8 in the side.
I don't want to take a chance on the table messing up a slow roll on this 14.
Okay.
Hitting it a lot more firm and knowing where your cue ball control is going to be is probably the best way to go, especially on equipment that you're not familiar with. And then taking this 11 ball first, that is an option, but then you run into the risk of running into this 8 ball or possibly drawing back into the corner, which, yeah, I think in this setup specifically, I think you go 14, come down for the 11 in the side, and then that would roll out for this 8 in the corner. Or if you get dead straight on accident, you can always do a small little drawback for the 8 in the side. Let's see. You guys want to take a picture of this, so that way you can set it up for whoever's next. Want to take a photo of this? We'll get a little camera that comes down. Oh, is there already? That's a magnetic box. So if you have a magnetic camera with a stick. Did you get a picture of it? All right. We'll see how it goes. Yes, absolutely. It was gonna work good.
So we try this. So we do this one again.
What's that?
We are at time, but I think we're going to do that. Good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We gotta try it one more time.
Oh, we definitely got to do it.
And this was about right here.
Oh, moving back.
Oh, it's good.
Make stuff happen.
Ooh, dead straight. It's okay. Second shooter is always better than the first shooter.
Thanks, Jordan. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man.